good Democrats and good Republicans. We're so close to accomplishing this. Please keep up the pressure. This is coming from a senator, from a state senator. Please keep contacting your lawmakers. Don't stop. Do it on a frequent basis. They need to know that HB SB 76 is vital for you and others, and that you expect their support. Don't be afraid to call them every day if you like, and have your family, friends, and neighbors contact them too. We will not quit until we win this fight. It is so urgent for so many people that we cannot afford to slow down even for a minute. And Jim, at that point, I think I'd like to do my slide presentation, if you don't mind. Thank you, Jim. Thanks, Rod. Paul. Okay, here is the website, folks, www.ptcc.us. If you don't already know it, please write it down. That's David Baldinger's website, where you can find the blog and whatnot. But as many of you know, and I heard that Shirley and Tom Moser gave a tremendous speech last month, an update on what we've been up to, so I won't rehash all of that, but we have had a fantastic time in the Hershey-Harrisburg area over the last 5 weeks, and all because of this man. Senator Rob U. Blind Teplitz. And that's exactly what he did to each and every one of you and every Pennsylvanian back on November 23rd. This man is a roadblock to our bill. He's no good on most issues. And folks, we are dead set on getting the word out there. We're going to spend every other Saturday from now until the weather's no good, and we're just going to keep pounding the streets of Harrisburg, Hershey, all the surrounding areas, Dauphin County, Perry County, and we've been at it for 3 Saturdays now. We had a great time. This is when Shirley and Tom were up, our kickoff event. I'm sorry, Shirley and Charlie. I'm sorry. We had so many Toms and Charlies, and I apologize. Very sorry. But we had a great day, weather was great. We had 21, 22 volunteers, something like that, show up. And we met outside of Hershey, Hummelstown, and that's where, when we hit the streets, we had maps printed out, Google Maps, make it very easy for people to understand where to go, what streets to go to. But then we also have the option of hitting the local shopping centers as well, which we find is very productive. There's that first group, that first week. Ed, boy, you really like to be seen, don't you, Ed? Ed's got his arms outstretched there, stop clowning around with school property tax, and that sign goes with us just about everywhere we go.
Someone photoshopped that.
Okay. Last minute instructions from John McCartney. He's one of the leaders, been around a long time, working on this bill for 10 or more years, and like a lot of people here in this room, and he came from Chester, Lancaster County. He, like so many others, have traveled crisscross across the state to the four corners with us making an impact in different legislative districts. So we went about our business, got last minute instructions, and this is the kind of reaction that we get, by the way, when we confront Rob Blind Teplitz. He does not like to see us, hear from us. In fact, he gets so upset. You can see he's got his hand outstretched. When he gets really angry, he starts talking about how tall his imaginary friend is from the PSCA. Anyway, so I just had to include that because I love talking to Rob. But where does his influence come from? He doesn't care about the people of Dauphin County. He doesn't care about you or what you're paying. In fact, I can tell you Rob isn't even from Pennsylvania. He's got a rich family back in near Miami, Florida. He accuses of us of being not in his district. Well, he's not even from Pennsylvania. This is what's lining his pockets, folks. 40 grand in the last election, and he did such a good job for him, voting no twice in this session, the last 2 sessions, that they've already given him $52,000 so far for this election. He's up for election in November. See where I'm going with this, folks? This is a guy that is on the brink. If we can get the word out there and let people know, his constituents, what he's about and how he does not support their property rights. So, sorry, that one got twisted. But this, I just had to show this. I wish it was right side up. I couldn't figure out how to do it. But this man cannot stand Rob Teflis. I said, "You mind if I take your picture, sir?" He said, "No, go ahead." But he, like so many others, when we were out and about, signed our petition. In fact, to date, over 3 Saturdays, we collected between 700 and 800 new petitions. Folks, we reached 2,500 homes and individuals the last 3 weeks. Folks, those are powerful numbers. When you talk about an election coming up, the separation from what we understand, Rob's last election, he only won by something less than 2,000 votes. Folks, if we can reach 2,500, 5,000, 10,000 people, 20,000 people, and this is just part of our game. This is our ground game. We always have a good time. We meet up afterwards, right, Shirley? We have a little fellowship, time beforehand, time after. And really, I gotta tell you, my main goal here today is ask you all for help. We need help. Because there's people out there every Saturday. We've been out 32 Saturdays in the last 25 months, folks. A lot of people, a lot of the same people, a lot of new people are coming out. And we need that, we love that, we appreciate that. So we're just going to keep going. Of course, you know these guys, Berks County Patriots, and I think Sam took this picture last month when they were here giving the update, and we appreciate their help as well. So we went out again a couple Saturdays ago, finished off Hershey, covered at least half of the Hummelstown area, and we had another great group. See a little different, some of the same people again. You see the Greths are there, Lynn Buchard, some new faces. We had some locals in the game this time around, and that's very exciting when we have local people come out with us. But we did the same thing. We hit the streets, but we went to shopping centers this time, even more so than before. There's people that just don't want to walk that far, and we understand that. But you know what? We take them to a place where people come to you, right, Shirley? Right, Charles? And this is Elsie Lehman from Lebanon, and she just had a great time meeting people coming in and out of the shopping center. There's some people you guys might recognize, Berks County Patriots. And this is Ed Bender. And I know most of you know Ed, but I gotta tell you, he is a machine when it comes to talking to people. He is relentless. He doesn't stop for lunch. He doesn't stop to mess around. He is all over the parking lots, from one car to the next. And we used to have well, we still do. We have a little competition. Whoever comes up with the most petitions, you know, during a campaign like this, we get him a T-shirt. Well, I don't know that anyone's going to break Ed's record. He broke the record of 43 in one day for one person to collect petitions and signatures. Ed, how many did you have? 60 in one day. That is just tremendous. Thank you, Ed. There's Elsie having a good time. And this is what we're trying to do to Rob. We're trying to get his attention. Do we want to see him leave office? I don't know. That's up to the voters to decide. But we want him to, somehow, we want another vote in the Senate. Whether it's him or his opponent, John DeSanto, I'm here to tell you that he just gave us written confirmation, folks. Gave us written confirmation that he will not only support 76, if he's elected to the Senate, he will vote for it. We have it in writing, and he knows that we'll hold him accountable if he doesn't. Both Rob and John are going to be invited to town hall meetings that we have scheduled coming up in September in Dauphin County, October in Perry County, and we're going to put it on the line with these guys, and they're going to have to face their constituents. If Rob decides to show up, I'll bet you $1 you don't. His opponent's going to look like a rock star. I don't know. What do you guys think? Especially if he's supporting the bill. So we're laying the table and asking people to come out. So this was last Saturday, and I don't know if you remember, last Saturday was so oppressive. And we only had about a dozen people come out, so we stuck to the shopping centers and we cut it off at noontime because we didn't want people keeling over. Ed led the effort because I had to go get ready to take my oldest son to college. but I was able to get out there and help these guys get started. And they just combed the shopping centers, the different malls out there, boosted our numbers. There's another lady, Grace Tripmatter from Chester, Lancaster County. There's John McCartney. This guy's been with us, I think, 31 out of 32 Saturdays over the last 25 months, driven all over the place. And he was also like a machine. He wouldn't even let people get out the door. Before he was asking them to sign a petition. Not suggesting you all do that, okay? There's Marty Moser from Pottstown. She came out with us. There's Ed again. He's everywhere. There's Marty again. Like a virus, yes. So why are we doing this? This is our ground game. Yeah, we're getting the word out there. We're handing out flyers. 2,500 people we reached in the last 5 weeks, but this is just our ground game. But it all leads up to this, a town hall meeting. After we start running color, full-page ads, half-page ads, we start doing direct mailers by the thousands to the right districts, to swing districts and precincts. And I can't mention yet who, but we have been offered radio advertisement for our town hall meetings that are going to come up. So all of this builds and builds, folks, just like we did last summer, if you remember, in Pottstown. That's where these pictures are taken from. And there's our VP, Ron Bolts, who's kind of taken over as the spokesperson for the 76 presentation since David's been ill. But there's Linda Brancadora signing people in at the door. We always thank Linda for her help in that regard. But we pack a room, folks. Full-page color ads, direct mailers. Now we're going to have radio ads. This room down at the Montgomery County Community College in Pottstown, I'm thinking we had upwards of 250 people. Sam, what do you think? It was at least 225. And we put these guys on the spot. When the full-page ads ran, I want to tell you something. Two Republicans, I consider wishy-washy Republicans on the bill, Senator Rafferty and Senator Mensch, they were not fighting for us. They were not pushing for us. Their constituents hadn't even heard of the bill. As soon as we ran the ads claiming that they were not publicly supporting the bill, and I wish I had the picture here, they asked Dave Arnold to have a press conference, and they had big colored glossy pictures taken of them signing on as sponsors for the bill immediately after the ads. Folks, you can't buy that. I mean, that is just tremendous support. On top of that, Representative Hennessy sent Jim Cox a letter within 2 hours at the end of this town hall asking to be a sponsor of HB 76. Folks, that's the power of a town hall. That's the power of what we're doing here. We're following a confrontational model. I know Dave Pridgeon was here to talk about that a month or two ago. But folks, this works. We hold these people accountable, and we're going to continue doing it. When we're done, Rob's either going to look like this or he's going to get on board. One or the other. I don't know. We think it's his choice. So once again, there's David's website, and that's it for the video presentation. I have a little bit left to finish up with David, if that's all right. Yes, please. Yeah, that's probably the most important thing I can do here today. We need help, folks. Thank you, Ed. These are sign-up sheets. If you folks would like to come out with us, any given Saturday, we're coming out again not this Saturday, but next Saturday, August 27th. We're also going to be hitting the streets of Paxtonia, Colonial Park. Don't worry, it's not Labor Day weekend. That's the following weekend. We're going to be out again September 10th, September 24th, October 8th, October 15th, and the 29th. Folks, we're going to be relentless here. We have a shot here of getting a second vote in the Senate if either Rob wakes up or if his constituents decide to vote for someone else who does support a bill. So that's really the name of the game, folks. Please consider coming out with us, even if it's for a couple hours. If you don't want to go door to door, great. We'll put you at a shopping center somewhere, just like Shirley and Charles did, and they had tremendous success. We can be very effective in that regard as well. So I'd ask you guys to consider volunteering and helping us out in that regard. I have a little bit more. Yep. Okay, I'd like to finish up with what David had to say, if I still have a couple minutes. Thank you. David wants us to know we are still growing. The Pennsylvania Coalition of Taxpayer Associations, the PCTA, is now 87 nonpartisan taxpayer groups strong. That support the enactment of House Bill 76 and Senate Bill 76. We welcome our newest allies in the fight for property tax independence, and I can tell you there's a lot of people here that are responsible for that, because we made the trip out west to Westmoreland County over the winter, and we woke these people up. They are Indiana County for property tax freedom, Indiana County, Pennsylvania against unfair reassessment, and Indiana Armstrong Patriots. Folks, we woke them up out there by making those trips hundreds of miles back and forth over the winter, and we've got 3 new groups that join our cause through it. And for more growth, the PTCC Facebook page is now almost 10,000 members strong. That's phenomenal. The page always has the latest news and an active discussion about the property tax fight. So if you're a Facebook subscriber, please join us. Here's some encouraging words, and I'll finish up. Finally, if you are impatient and discouraged because the Property Tax Independence Act hasn't been enacted in a few weeks or a few months, remember that this law is a major paradigm shift for Pennsylvania. The current property tax system has great momentum. It's been entrenched for 150 years. Affecting a massive change like HBSB 76 is not easily accomplished, especially when it is opposed by powerful special interests that benefit handsomely from the current system. Like we said, wow, Tetla's taking mega bucks from the teachers union. We have been fighting this battle for more than a decade. We have made tremendous progress since we began in 2004, and I believe we are on the very edge of success. We need to continue to push ourselves as hard as possible to win. We can do it. Consider this, 100 years ago, a similar major paradigm shift was seen in the women's suffrage movement. It took almost 50 years for women to gain the right to vote, but the untiring advocates were persistent, steadfast, and unshakable. They never wavered, and with perseverance, they won the battle. There is no reason why we can't do the same. With our massive support base and with the progress we've already made, it will certainly not take that long. We are almost there. Folks, keep fighting and never give up. David, thanks everyone for your continued support for the Property Tax Independence Act. Your efforts are helping to ensure a brighter future for all Pennsylvanians and are making our state a better place to live. David Baltimore. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dan. At this time, I'd like to ask our District Attorney, John Adams, and Sergeant Liberace. Did I say that right? Yes, sir. All right. And they're going to continue this thing on heroin. And I'd just like to say, my best friend, 50 years he's actually been my friend. We grew up together as little nippers. He just lost 2 nephews to heroin. One of them was a Mensa Society genius, and he did start out with a back problem and couldn't get medication anymore, and he got on heroin and died. And about 3 weeks later, his other nephew from his other sister died, and on his wife's side. So it was his nephew on his side and on his wife's side. So one on each side, and they happened within 3 weeks of each other. So it affects every one of us. Every one of us. I mean, I know people that, you know, you would never suspect, oh, this family would never have that. Well, that's wrong. If you're thinking that, it's wrong. It affects each and every one of us somewhere along the line. So this time I'd like to turn the microphone over. You want to come up here?
Good evening. As you may or may not know, my name is John Adams, and I'm the District Attorney of Berks County. We have a presentation tonight, myself and Sergeant Liberace of my drug task force regarding the heroin problem that we have, not just in Berks County, but quite frankly, through most of the United States. This is a huge, huge problem. It's not just here in Berks County. It is by far really affecting Pennsylvania, all the northeastern states, and frankly, most of the states in the United States. we have seen an unprecedented amount of drug